Yeah, hey, Uncle Roddus back. VC, record time again. I've been shopping. I've been shopping online. I've been shopping in the town. I've been shopping. And I think it's probably video number 133, why I have no fucking money, which is what I said last time. Okay, right. So, plenty of New Zealand new releases coming out at the moment. Barely can keep up with them. Quite a few. Got a bunch in the mail too, and it's a good thing that work is busy, although it has slowed down a fraction, but we're still busy enough to keep the records coming. Now, the record store day, I don't do record store day per se. There's not usually much of interest in the record store releases, usually overpriced. Not saying that it's not of interest. There are obviously records that I could be interested in, and reissues, overpriced. Not interested in the whole bustle and lining up and trying to get hold of them, and they all might be sold out anyway. So I didn't bother going in for Record Store Day this year because Penny Lane didn't have their 50% off sale to commemorate the day. They keep promising us that they are going to, and they haven't, and they're not, and I had some money put aside for that, and I got sick of waiting, and I was hankering to buy some records. So I thought I would go in and buy some. So yesterday I went in to the shop with my wife, and she bought herself a bunch of DVDs and stuff. So I was perusing the new arrivals bins, and the first thing that I come across is this off my want list, the NRA. Now that is not the National Rifle Association. It is not really anything, is what it stands for. Mud Babies is their first LP on Flying Nun from 1988, I believe. Yes, 1988. And I understand that these guys are from Christchurch, and this is pretty much a sort of a rock-based record. Played one side of it last night while I was cleaning. So I can't say too much about it musically, but I was aware of it, aware of the band vaguely, and had it on my want list. So pleased to find that Flying Nun stuff does not turn up particularly very often. And then another rather rarish Christchurch band as well from 1986, the Hemogoblins, and Psychodelicatessen. This is on South Indies record, which was Bill Doreen's imprint from the 80s. I have a compilation of that, and plus some Bill Doreen records that he released. Actually have a Bill Doreen compilation record in the mail. Probably be here tomorrow. I've probably got most of the stuff on it, but I'm not sure. But I picked it up for a reasonable price. This is a reissue, an expanded reissue. Now, I actually already have the original, but this is Gianmarco Ligori's Duga 3, but this is Duga 3 Plus. So it's the original Duga 3 LP, plus a bunch of a compilation LP on sides 3 and 4 of some stuff off the first two Gianmarco Ligori LPs. They were not. Yeah, they're under his name. He's also involved with Salon Kingsador. It turns out that I actually have the CD that several of the tracks came off on that one, but I don't have the first CD. So thick cardboard pressed on heavy vinyl. Sounds pretty cool. This one has some more liner notes than the original one. So worthwhile having, and pleased to have that. Like I say, I do have the original of that, but that is expanded on vinyl. This is, I believe, a sort of a self-released thing. Some good old-fashioned Kiwi punk, New Zealand punk band from the Stun Grenades. New Zealand punk rock, it says. This is a combination of their first two CDs that they put out in 2015 and 2017. Yeah, there's like 11 songs on one side and 15 on the other. Very short, hard rocking punk. Yeah, this is original type punk, you know, from the 70s, late 70s. Very damned, you know, some great melodies. This is not a bad record actually. Front Towards Enemy was the first one, and Class War Fight Back was the second LP. This copy is just on straight black vinyl. Yes, it is. So I'm not sure if they had any other colour variations. I don't think they did. I bought this directly from the band on their Bandcamp site. Yeah, really enjoyed it on first listen. So the rest of the Penny Lane stuff, I was really pleased to find a bunch of ECMs. I haven't picked up any for quite some time, so really pleased to find some ECMs. And as usual, they are always in fantastic condition. Mostly German pressings that we get in New Zealand from ECM. This one here is Arild Anderson. Shamiri? I can't even pronounce that. This is ECM 1082 from 1977. Really good quartet. Very impressed. Very ECM, of course, but I was impressed with what I heard. I had listened to it just before. Really enjoyed it. So that was a good find. I think I have some others of his in my collection as well. I got through one side of this so far, but I haven't had time to listen to the other side. But this is Mark Johnson led band with Bill Frisell and John Schofield and Peter Erskine. Now this is a pretty good lineup, especially Bill Frisell and John Schofield. I was very impressed with the first track, which is a self-penned track from Mark. Then they did a copy of Resolution by John Coltrane, which I recognised, and that was pretty cool. Didn't get to side 2. This is ECM 1299 from 1980 something. 86, there it is. So yeah, again, what I've heard of that so far has been pretty impressive. This one here is called Shift in the Wind, ECM 1165 from 1981 or 1980, actually recorded in 1980. Now, Art Land, Gary Peacock and Elliot Zygmunt. So it's a trio, bass, piano, drums. Haven't played it yet. I understand Gary Peacock has just recently passed away, so that was a bit sad. Sounds pretty cool. Mostly original material. Yes. So looking forward to playing that. And then more ECMs. This is another Arild. I can't even say his name. Arild Anderson quartet. Green shadings into blue, and this is ECM 1127 from 1978. So again, this is a quartet. Is it the same lineup as the last one? Let's see. Yes, it is the same band as the last one. One of the things that I mean, the German pressings, like again, is a German pressing, original German pressing. One of the things that I love about these is they're fantastic quality. One of the things I don't like about them is this plastic that they have on them that comes peeling off all the time, which is a real pain. And I think someone had tried to peel the plastic off one of those other records, and it actually ripped the cover off the back of it, some of the thing, and I have done that myself. But yeah, it makes them look a bit tatty when they start to rip like that. Sometimes you can peel it off, sometimes you can't. Jan Garbarek. This album is called Dis. Jan and Ralph Towner playing on this. I did play this last night while I was cleaning it. It sounded pretty good. This is from 1976, ECM 1093. So, yeah, really pleased. It's been a while since I picked up any ECMs because I just haven't been into the shops very much. I can't remember whether I picked any up. Yeah, I did pick up one earlier in the year after the lockdown ended. And then finally, the ECMs. This one's really impressive. Trio Music, Czech Korea, Miroslav Vetis and Roy Haynes. 2 LP set. This is from 1982, ECM 1232. Now this is the US pressing and it was still sealed. Yeah, I actually had to open it. I couldn't open it up because it was still sealed up. So yeah, never been played. Wow, yeah, really cool. So the side 2, record 2 is the music of Thelonious Monk. And so there's a bunch of Thelonious tracks, and then which I thought, that sounds pretty promising, and it's a trio, as I say, piano, bass, and drums. But I really do like piano-led trios. And I was kind of like a bit apprehensive about the improvisational record, but actually it is very, very good. It's very impressive. To be honest, it sounds almost constructed in places because it's very, very good. So I was really impressed with that. I did pick up the copy of Blues Helping by Love Sculpture. Now I showed their second LP that I picked up, original UK release copy I picked up several months ago, and I wasn't quite as familiar with that record, but actually this one I had on CD, which I picked up a few years ago. Mostly cover songs of blues track, Elmore James, B.B. King, Jimmy Johnson, Willie Dixon. But Dave Edmunds' guitaring is pretty impressive. He is very, very good. This album doesn't sound as good as the second one, to be honest. I thought this was the better LP originally because I hadn't heard the second one, all of it, only some parts of it. But I actually like this, like the other one better. But this is still pretty cool. And this is an original UK pressing, I believe. Another one that I picked up, which I used to have on vinyl many years ago, and I never got around to replacing it on CD when I was collecting CDs. But this is pretty familiar to people. Planet Gong, Camembert Electric. I can't even pronounce that properly. So Gong's first album from 1971. This is actually a reissue on Get Back from 2002, which is quite interesting. Just on the black vinyl. I had played side 1 of that last night, and yeah, I was obviously pretty familiar with it because I had it in my collection. Finally, I think from Penny Lane, I picked up this one, New Zealand Composer Edition on Kiwi Pacific Records. This is from 1984. So, I said in the past, I will pick these up whenever I see them. There is music from John Ritchie, Anthony Ritchie, Chloe Moon and John Elmsley. Now I'm not familiar with those names apart from John Ritchie. This was recorded actually, it tells me on the front, doesn't it? No, it doesn't tell me who recorded it. Actually, this used to belong to the University of Canterbury School of Music. Now, I'm not sure how it ended up at Penny Lane. Ah, interesting. Yeah. So, New Zealand classical music. I don't listen to classical music a lot, but I do like to collect the New Zealand stuff. I am more interested in the the more experimental electronic stuff, which I've managed to pick up a few copies of over the years, but I'll buy them when I see them. They're always cheap. I mean, $10. Actually, to be honest, I didn't pay for that one. They just chucked it in. The new Millie Tarback and the Milltones record. So, yeah, I've been really enjoying this. So, I showed the Milltones' new first LP a few years back, and I've seen them live a couple of times. It's interesting that she is now you know, taken on the lead. Well, she might have always been the leader, but she's sort of put her name in front of the band. That's interesting. Millie Tarbeck Records, it says. So the Middletones, okay, she's a real Stevie Nicks impersonator. She really does sound a lot like Stevie Nicks, you know, and these guys do sound a lot like Fleetwood Mac. It is pretty commercial music, but it's really good. I mean, they're great musicians, they're a very good band, they've got very good chops and very good songwriting. I mean, she's writing a lot of the songs. She's credited on pretty much all the songs, and then some of the other members are credited on some of them, and mixed. But she seems to be maybe the main songwriter. So that's maybe why she's put her name in front of it, you know. But anyway, I don't know how big these guys are in New Zealand. I don't listen to commercial radio, but these, you know, if anyone wants to promote some great New Zealand commercial music, I think these people deserve a lot more attention than they get. I mean, I saw them live and it was only in a small venue. They weren't drawing big crowds, but they really are good. I'm not a big Fleetwood Mac fan, honestly, I'm not, but I can appreciate that. Direct from the band, the new Spook the Horses record, Empty Body, on Pelagic Records. Actually it says 2019, but it's pretty much only just, well, I think it was released on Bandcamp late last year. This is kind of post-metal in a way, or post-rock, heavy post-rock, but it's got quite screamy vocals. I've obviously been ranting on for a while because we've just about played a whole side of that record, so we'll just play it again, Sam. This is a bit more raucous and screamy vocally than their previous record, so that's taken me a little bit more to get to grips with it, so I'm probably not enjoying it as much as their last album. One that I've only played a couple of times, and that, the Soda Boys. This is their, I don't know, actually, is it their first record? I think it probably is their first vinyl. Looks like they are a 3-piece. This is kind of alternative indie, punky, post-punky sort of stuff. Yeah, it's not a bad record. Farewell Spit. I don't know, I think they're from Auckland. Really can't say too much about them. Recorded between 2017 and 2019. Yeah, three of them. So, first couple of listens I have been reasonably impressed. So yeah, fairly noisy, sort of post-punky, indie-punky, whatever you want to call it. Almost finally, or penultimately, is that what the word is? Gramsci, Paul McClaney, and Greg Haver. Now, Gramsci were a Kiwi band who put out a couple of CDs back in the mid-2000s or early to mid-2000s. I have one of those CDs, always been very impressed with it. Paul McClaney is the vocalist, guitarist, synths, programming, and then Greg is drums and percussion. Paul's got a great voice, interesting voice. This is their first LP, or their first first ever vinyl LP, and their first new LP in 14 years. It's a limited edition of only 100 copies. I'm assuming it'll come out on CD as well. They were, cultishly popular in New Zealand. This is a very different record from their earlier stuff. There's some very Pink Floyd atmospheric touches to it. There's some quite rocky sort of moments, almost classic rock type moments to it. It's I understand someone mentioned that Paul McClaney is a big Mark Knopfler fan, so that's possibly why we've got the Pink Floydian type guitar atmospherics that he's playing, which, I thought it was more Floydian than Dire Straitian. Anyway, so the first listen was like, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting, but it is growing big to me. It is a very good album, very strong album, and very impressive. It is a little bit more probably commercial than their original stuff, and certainly more rockier and heavier. And only 100 copies of that on vinyl. And finally, this weird shit that we've got playing in the background. It's a lot of records. This was, again, totally out. This is totally out of the blue. Had no idea anything about it. Chris played it on his last show. He was the same. He had no idea what it was, about it, and he had picked a cup of coffee. Vanessa Worm. Vanessa 77 is the name of the record. That's what's playing behind me. It's released on Optimo Music out of the Europe, and it's fucking awesome. Really, really good. So it's kind of electronic-y, atmospherically weird little, I don't know. It's really, really good. It got played about 4 times in a row without leaving the turntable. I just kept putting it on repeat. This is the track that Chris played on his show, on his podcast, which was enough to pique my interest, and had a look at it. I think I picked this up. I can't remember where I bought this. You can get this off of their Bandcamp site. I think I actually managed to pick it up here out of flying out, because otherwise I would have had, the Optimos being out of Europe, would have had to get it shipped from Europe. So overseas people could probably get it through there, it'd be better for postage. I'm really impressed. This is going to be in probably my top 10 New Zealand records of the year. It is absolutely awesome record. Okay, that's enough of me prattling around and prattling on, and God knows how long it's been. 22 minutes. Sorry about that. A bit long, but it's shorter than my last one, I think, or my last couple. Anyway, so more records in the post. Well over my quota. Video number 130 something, why I have no bloody money. Cheers.